On Global TV News Prime, President Bola Tinubu approves the appointment of 26 new officials into federal agencies. In business, Central Bank of Nigeria retains interest rate at 26.5% to tackle inflation. And on the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump warns of response to Houthi threat against South ports. And in sports, Team Nigeria opens camp in Glasgow ahead of Commonwealth Games. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, Star Times channel 276, and Free TV. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of 26 new officials into 10 federal agencies and commissions in a fresh move to strengthen public institutions and improve service delivery. Former Ekiti State Governor Ayo Fayose has been named chairman of the Rural Electrification Agency, while Major General Junaid Bindawa, retired, will chair the National Salary Incomes and Wages Commission. The appointments also include new leadership for several strategic institutions. According to Presidency, the appointments take immediate effect and aim at reinforcing leadership across key government institutions to drive reforms, strengthen governance, and accelerate national development. The Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, has warned against corruption, extortion, abuse of office, and unlawful detention, directing senior officers to uphold professionalism, accountability, and ethical conduct to restore public confidence in the Nigerian police force. The police chief gave the warning at a strategic meeting with the police managers in Abuja. Kikelomo Okere has the details.
Addressing senior police officers at the IGP conference and retreat for strategic police managers in Abuja, the police chief declared that integrity and discipline must remain the foundation of effective policing. He directed commissioners of police to deepen community policing by strengthening partnership with traditional rulers, religious leaders, youth and women groups, schools and community associations to boost intelligence gathering and crime prevention nationwide.
I expect every commissioner of police to lead with purpose, keep their command operationally ready, and hold officers to standard of professionalism, discipline, respect for the rights of every citizen. Corruption, extortion, abuse of authority, unlawful detention, and any other form of unethical conduct undermines everything we are trying to build, and they will not be tolerated at any level.
The Inspector General of Police also ordered all strategic commanders to ensure operational deployments are driven by credible intelligence and threat assessment, while developing security strategies to tailor the peculiar challenges of their respective commands. Highlighting recent operational successes, this to disclose that nationwide anti-crime operations since June 2029 resulted in the arrest of 1,198 suspects, including suspected kidnappers, armed robbers, murder suspects, cultists, and illegal firearms offenders. He added that security operatives rescued 166 kidnapped victims, recovered 166 firearms, 1,475 rounds of ammunition. On the recent rescue of adopted students and teachers in Oyo State, the police chief says patient intelligence gathering and coordinated inter-agency collaboration rather than a rushed operation ensured the safe rescue of all the victims.
Rescue incidents. The successful rescue of the abducted students and teachers in Oyo State deserve particular mention. It is a clear example of what can be achieved when Nigerian security agencies work together with a genuine sense of common purpose, which was what we all did together. The operation succeeded because of close collaboration between Nigerian Police Force, the Armed Forces of Nigeria, other security and intelligence agencies, and members of the public.
The Inspector General of Police therefore announced a 3-day leadership workshop for all 37 commissioners of police aimed at strengthening operational leadership, communication, strategic decision-making, and intelligence-led policing in line with ongoing police reforms. Kike Lomo Okere, Global TV News.
The force commitment to building modern intelligence-led and technology-driven police service capable of responding effectively to emerging security challenges. The IGP made this known while decorating 13 Assistant Inspector General of Police and 17 Commissioners of Police in Abuja. Kike Lomo Okere has the details.
New stars now adorn their shoulders, but with every rank comes greater responsibilities. For the 13 newly promoted Assistant Inspector General of Police and 17 Commissioners of Police, the decoration ceremony was more than a celebration. It was a solemn call to provide decisive leadership in the nation's fight against crime and insecurity. The Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, stressed that public trust remains the foundation of effective policing, noting that stronger collaboration between the police and citizens is critical to improving security across the country. He charged the newly promoted senior officers to uphold the highest standards of integrity, professionalism, and accountability, emphasizing that their new ranks comes with greater responsibility to lead by examples and strengthen public confidence in Nigerian police force.
Building a modern intelligence-led, technology-driven force, but we must never lose sight of why. Safer streets, protected families, communities that trust us because we have earned that trust through fairness and respect.
The police chief warned against corruption, abuse of office, and every form of misconduct, insisting that integrity, fairness, and compassion must define their leadership at every level. The IGP further assured officers of sustained effort to improve their welfare, training, and professional development, while encouraging the newly promoted officers to mentor younger personnel and uphold the core value of the force.
With uncompromising integrity, with no tolerance for misconduct, abuse of office, or corruption. But I also expect you to lead with humanity in mind.
The decoration ceremony marks another milestone in the ongoing efforts to strengthen the leadership of the Nigerian police force and reinforce professionalism, accountability, and effective service delivery in maintaining law and order across the country. Kike Lomo Okere, Global TV News.
The Nigerian Army has reaffirmed its commitment to improving personnel welfare with the commissioning of newly constructed officers and soldiers' quarters in Abuja. Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, made this known at the commissioning ceremony of newly constructed officers and soldiers' quarters at Muhammadu Buhari Cantonment, Giri, Abuja. Sadia Yakubu tells us more.
The newly completed facilities include 27 senior non-commissioned officers' quarters, 8 corporal ULO quarters, alongside residence for the coordinator and deputy coordinator within the Nigerian Army Aviation community. Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shuaibu, says the new accommodation will enhance the living conditions of troops while strengthening operational efficiency across the force. He noted that the Nigerian Army continues to expand in response to evolving security challenges, making infrastructure development essential to sustaining troops' morale, operational readiness, and family welfare.
The commissioning of these residential facilities represents our commitment to the well-being of our personnel and their families. It is also a practical demonstration of our resolve to improve the quality of lives of officers and soldiers who continue to make enormous sacrifices in defense of our dear nation.
The Director of Procurement, Major General Sadi Suyaka, added that the infrastructure program has provided accommodation for more than 1,000 corporals and below. Over 40 senior non-commissioned officers with their families as well as officers. He said the project will also create employment opportunities within Barra communities while supporting the Army's soldier-first philosophy.
Collectively, these facilities provide additional accommodation for more than 1,000 corporals and below, over 40 senior non-commissioned officers with their families, and over 40 single officers and married officers.
As the Nigerian Army confronts evolving security threats across the country, the involvement in modern accommodation underscores a growing commitment to putting the welfare of troops first, recognizing that a motivated and well-housed force remains critical to safeguarding the nation's space and security. Satya Kubu, Global TV News.
A federal high court in Abuja has ordered the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) to produce Abuja-based estate agent Rebecca Omokamo in court for the continuation of the high trial for alleged land fraud, forgery, and money laundering. Justice Joyce Abdulmalik directed the anti-graft agency to produce the defendant after she failed to appear in court for the resumed hearing. Ubong Usoro reports.
The case arises from allegations by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission that Rebecca Omokamo and 3 others were involved in land fraud, forgery, and money laundering. The other defendants in the matter are Omar Liu Realty Limited, Ida Kogi, Richard John, and Richego Homes Limited. At the resumed hearing, Emaya Osimoko, counsel to the first defendant, informed the court that his client had been unable to attend processes because EFCC operatives had maintained a presence at her residence for 23 days, leaving her fearful of leaving her home.
Yes, actually a source of concern was being that we tried to pay the also how to understand the situation, in fact. But I believe the court, in its own wisdom, should we say, in its own wisdom, they know why they gave such an order. But in our humble belief, we believe that the court should have understood our own position and understood that it is because of possible fear, not even possible fear, it's because of fear on our part. That is why she will not want to live inside her house. Because if your house is surrounded by men and officers of a nation that you know are behave contrary to your law, or you know they have a devil-may-care attitude towards the law, you will not want to come out of your house.
The prosecution, however, disrupted the claim, arguing that the defendant was in what is described as a self-imposed confinement following an interim forfeiture order on the disputed property. The EFCC further alleged that Omar Kamu had breached the conditions of administrative bail by traveling outside the court jurisdiction without approval. After listening to both parties, Justice Abdulmalik ordered the EFCC to produce the defendant in court and directed that she remain in the agency's custody until Thursday, July 23 for continuation of trial. The court also cautioned the defense counsel against attempting to ponder for the court while seeking clarification on an earlier order relating to the disputed property. Justice Abdulmalik also adjourned the civil suit until October 15 for the hearing of pending applications, including an application for a joinder and the EFCC application for the final forfeiture of the disputed property. Ubong Usoro, Global TV News.
Governor Hope Uzodinma has approved the construction of 25 billion Judges Quarter in Imo State as part of effort to strengthen the judiciary and improve the welfare of judicial officers with this amount of money. The State Executive Council also approved the establishment of new computer-based test centers and a digital signet management company to boost education and urban development. Our correspondent Amarachi Ibe reports.
Judicial officers in Imo State are said to benefit from improved housing as the State Executive Council approved the construction of 40 modern duplexes with recreational facilities at a cost of 25 billion naira. Briefing journalists after the council meeting, Commissioner for Information, Public Orientation and Strategy, Declan Emelumba, said the project is aimed at enhancing the welfare productivity, and efficiency of judges across the state. He also announced the approval of 1.9 billion naira for the construction of 4 computer-based test centers in the Olu zone, with 900 million released immediately for 2 pilot centers at Bishop Shanahan Secondary School and Community Secondary School Nomoma.
Among them is the award of contract for the construction of judges' quarters, about 40 duplexes that will stand alone and have all the facilities to make the judges comfortable, including a swimming pool and other facilities at the cost of 25 billion naira. The ESCO approved that today. And the ESCO also approved the setting up of 4 computer-based test centers in Olu zone. And this was informed by the fact that Olu zone never had any computer-based test center.
The council further approved the establishment of Imo Signage Assets Management Limited under a public-private partnership to regulate smart digital billboards, improve outdoor advertising, and increase internally generated revenue. It also directs immediate intervention to address erosion threatening communities across the state. Meanwhile, Governor Zodinma has administered the oath of office to Lonja Sanyaun as the new commissioner for agriculture and charged him to support the administration's drive for increased food production and agricultural development.
This also approved immediate arrest of the menacing erosion at Otamini River. The ESCO said the commissioner in charge should immediately take steps to ensure that that was arrested.
The approval for the construction of judges' quarters underscores the Imo State government's commitment to strengthening the justice system, expanding to digital education, and accelerating infrastructure and economic development. In Owerri, Ambarachi Ibe, Global TV News.
Watching the live broadcast of News Prime. News Prime continues after this weather forecast plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Thank you for joining us. While some places are still enjoying relatively calm conditions, weather systems are already developing and becoming active during the late hours of Tuesday. Now here's why that matters. These systems are expected to linger into the early hours of Wednesday to give thunderstorms in parts of Kebbi, Borno, Yobe, Jigawa, and Gombe states. Residents in the southeast and south-south region should be prepared for a wet start to the day as morning rains are expected over the region. As the day unfolds, the atmosphere will become active once again as isolated thunderstorms are expected in parts of the north down to the north-central region, while light to moderate rains are anticipated in the southern region of the country. Whatever plans you have for Wednesday, it's important to keep your umbrellas close. I am Theodora Itum. Thank you for watching.
Welcome back from that break. Now in business. The Central Bank of Nigeria has retained the monetary policy rate of 26.5%, sustaining its tight monetary policy as it seeks to contain inflation and safeguard macroeconomic stability amid renewed global economic uncertainties. The Apex Bank Governor Olayemi Cardoso says the decision was reached at the end of the 306th Monetary Policy Committee meeting held in Abuja. Kikelomo Okere has the details.
While briefing journalists in Abuja, the Central Bank of Nigerian Governor Olayemi Cardoso says the MPC retained the benchmark interest rate at 26.5% for the second consecutive meetings, following a 50 basis point reduction in February. The committee also adjusted the asymmetric corridor around the MPR to plus 50 and minus 450 basis points to encourage banks to channel more funds into lending rather than keeping excess liquidity with the central bank. Other key monetary parameters were left unchanged, with cash ratio for commercial banks maintained at 45%, 16% for merchant bank, while CRR on non-TSA public sector deposits remained at 75%. The decision comes despite a slight moderation in Nigeria's headline inflation, which eased to 15.91% in June from 15.93% in May, according to the National Bureau of Statistics.
Available evidence suggests that the Nigerian economy has remained largely resilient to the external shocks, reflecting the gains from prior reforms implemented by the fiscal and monetary authorities. However, maintaining the current monetary policy stance will provide an opportunity to closely monitor incoming data and assess the trajectory of inflation to guide future policy decisions.
The NPC noted that persistent global uncertainties, particularly renewed tension in the Middle East and their impact on international oil prices, continue to pose risk to inflation and the country's economic outlook.
Even at its decision, the committee noted the recent resurgence of hostilities in the Middle East, with particular attention to its spillover effects on global energy prices and the potential pass-through to domestic inflation.
The central bank says it will continue to closely monitor domestic and global economic development, with future monetary policy decisions guided by inflation trends, exchange rate stability, and overall economic growth. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global TV News.
Now, on the foreign scene, Germany and Azerbaijan have agreed to deepen bilateral cooperation across key sectors, with energy security taking center stage as both countries explore ways to boost natural gas supplies to Europe amid ongoing effort to diversify the continent's energy sources. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz announced the renewed commitment during talks with Azerbaijan's President Ilham Aliyev in Berlin, with both leaders pledged to strengthen cooperation in trade, investment, infrastructure, and energy. Samuel Odi reports.
Welcoming President Aliyev to the German capital, Chancellor Merz thanked Azerbaijan for its role as a reliable energy partner and said they are focused on possibilities of increasing natural gas exports from Azerbaijan to Germany and other European countries. President Aliyev called on the European Investment Bank to reconsider its policy of ending financial support for construction of new gas pipeline projects, urging that expanding pipeline infrastructure is essential to meeting Europe's growing energy demand and strengthening long-term energy security. The Azerbaijan leader maintained that continued investment in strategic energy infrastructure would benefit both suppliers and consumers while supporting Europe's transition to a more resilient and diversified energy market. The meeting also reaffirmed both countries' commitment to expand political dialogue and economic cooperation beyond energy sector, and officials expressing optimism about future partnership in areas of mutual benefits. The renewed commitment between Germany and Azerbaijan underscores Europe's continued search for stable and diversified energy source, with natural gas expected to remain a key component of the continent's energy mix as it balances energy security with its long-term climate goals. Samuel Odi, Global TV News.
And now in sport, the first batch of Team Nigeria athletes and officials will depart today for their pre-game training camp in Glasgow, 3 days ahead of the opening of the 2026 Commonwealth Games. A second batch follows on Friday, July 26, joining teammates already in the Games Village. The National Sports Commission (NSC), in a statement signed by the Special Assistant on Media, Kola Daniel, says the face movement caps weeks of training and acclimatization in Aberdeen, during which the Commission provides technical, medical, welfare support to the contingents. As Global TV News Prime comes to an end, let's take a look at our top stories. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the appointment of 26 new officials into 10 federal government agencies and commissions in a fresh move to strengthen public institutions and improve service delivery. And in business, the Central Bank of Nigeria has retained the monumentary policy rate of 26.5%, sustaining its tight monetary policy as it seeks to contain inflation and safeguard macroeconomic stability amid renewed global economic uncertainty. And on the foreign scene, we told you that the United States President Donald Trump has warned of a swift American response if Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels carry out their threat to impose a blockade on Saudi Arabia ports, signaling Washington's readiness to protect regional security and international maritime trade. And finally, from the water sport, we also told you that the first batch of the Team Nigeria's athletes and officials will depart today for their pre-games training camp in Glasgow, 3 days ahead of the opening of the 2026 Commonwealth Games. And that is it on News Prime. Here is a quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 StarTimes, channel 276 and Free TV. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Thank you for watching.